G'day guys, how's it going? This is Jordan and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. This is episode 6 and there's a haybot chasing a wok. Now, this episode is like the previous episode where the audio, well, not the audio, but my commentary didn't record while I was recording the gameplay. So we're doing this all in post-production again, gathering up more parts from the haybots, checking the chests. So today's episode is more looting, so it's much more loot based and exploration based. The next couple of episodes I think will be focused more on building. We're working on changing up our vehicle. I'm going to add an extra axle and 2 extra drive wheels, and I'm also going to extend out the truck bed so that we can handle transporting packages to and from the packing plant and the trader. I counted out the amount of crops that we have to take to the packaging station, and we have 12 stacks of 10 between the tomatoes, the red beets, and the carrots. So we're going to have to do a trip to there very soon. So probably next episode will be a building episode. Here's another haybot just forking around. There's going to be a lot of haybots in this episode. And I also cut out as much of the refining as I possibly could, because nobody wants to watch that. It's so boring. So we're going up to, straight ahead you can see the ruin that we explored in the last video. The ruin that we're going to in this video is to the left of that one, up on that hillside, that rock face there. You can just barely see the bottom of the ruin. Here I'm feeding some corn to a wok so we can get some milk. I'm also going to cut a lot of this out because waiting for them to eat 3 to give us the milk takes bloody forever, and I put down the majority of them here. I put down all of them, I think, just to get them out of my inventory. Yes, I did. So through the magic of editing, you see the start of the process and the end of the process. Beautiful. So now we're heading up towards our destination for this video, which is it that one or the other one? No, it's this one over here. And I was walking along this cliff face hoping to find a quick way up, but it turns out I had to walk all the way down and around and get down to the road here. And we have to follow this road up, so I should have brought the vehicle with me. Another bloody haybot, they are everywhere. And of course, because I'm so far away from the vehicle, I had to refine all the arms that I was picking up here. So it's quite a steep hill here. Now the reason why I'm adding an extra axle to the vehicle is because there are a lot of steep hills around this area, and there are a ton of steep hills between myself and the trader, and loading up my vehicle with the parcels of the fruits and vegetables is going to make it pretty impossible for me to get up that hill the way that my vehicle's set up at the moment. So I'm extending out the wheelbase, I'm making it longer, and I'm adding some extra drive wheels. So hopefully, I've also upgraded our engine to level 5. It's still level 3 or 4 at the moment in this video, but I've been doing some background work preparing for the next episode, so we've got a fully upgraded engine now, which will help as well. There are a ton of defenders in this room, absolute piles of them. And here is where we get swamped and just barely get out, and that's going to happen quite a bit in this episode. I think I'm wondering where that leg wound up, but I could hear another haybot very close by, and I was trying to figure out exactly where he was, and I think we find out very soon where he is. That's what annoyed me. I was so close to finishing that one off, and then he says that. There we go. At this point, when we got swamped by those hay bots, I was saying, oh wow, it's 2 episodes in a row where I just barely got away from their attacks and survived. And then as I was refining that leg and just about to finish off, yeah, we got knocked out and respawned. Here I came all the way back. It took me hours in-game. I decided this time I'm going to bring the bloody vehicle over with me because it's miles away. And you can see up there by the glowing that the chests and things respawned in that first ruin, so I was contemplating running up there, but I thought, no, I want to clear out the ruin we're working on while we have the chance. No, it actually isn't that ruin, it's to the left of that one. Okay, yeah. Don't drive into the tree when you're getting chased by a hay bot. Good job. You'll see, like, these are just very slight hills and the vehicle is struggling. I do have the engine turned down because I find if I turn it up anymore, the handling's very squirrely, which is why I've also lengthened the wheelbase. I think the drive wheels are just a little too close to the steering wheels. Here I started heading in the wrong direction and I thought, oh no, my bag's despawned because I couldn't see the symbol anymore. But if we turn around, there we go. You're just heading the wrong bloody way, mate. Now here's why I want to upgrade the vehicle. You'll see in just a second. This incline here isn't as bad as the one to the trader, and my vehicle barely makes it halfway up. It is seriously struggling right there, and it's nowhere near as steep as the incline to the trader. This is pathetic. Here's where I just give up and put it on the lift and take it up. Yeah, we got unlucky with some of the topography in this map. There's some crazily steep hills that we have to navigate, and unfortunately they're all around the trader. So we're going to have to navigate those hills when we have a very heavily loaded vehicle. Here's where we get where we attempt to get our revenge. Beauty. Why did I refine it there? Interesting. I think we're pretty clear for the most part. There's a couple of defenders left, but that initial surge was definitely the hardest part of this one. Get all my stuff back. Oh good, I decided to cut out the inventory management. Not sure why I didn't cut sooner there, to be honest, but there we go. At least I didn't make it too painful. Oh, look at that editing, mate. 2 legs in 2 seconds. Come on, up you go. This really harkens back to what I was saying in the next episode. It always seems to be nighttime when you're looting these ruins, because it just takes you so long to work through the defenders. It's quite a large ruin as well. There's a lot of levels to this one. It's decent. 3 batteries, 2 tomatoes, some circuit boards. Do not get used to seeing decent loot in this video. I was misremembering which ruin. I was disappointed in the loot. It's this one. This one has some trash loot. Luckily, it took me so long to get back here after I was knocked out that it's actually, the sun's starting to come up, so most of this ruin is actually looted in the daytime, which is nice. Nice change. It's a really good area, this area. I really want to move out to this area. Hello, mate. How you doing? There's autumnal forests everywhere. There's some chemical ponds that we'll see later on in this video. Almost lost that fella. There's just a lot of interesting features and a lot of useful loot. So there's cotton, there's burnt embers, there's chemicals, like there's sources of everything very close by. So I think this general area is where I'm going to move the base. It's also a lot closer to the fruit packing plant. And it's not too far from the vegetable packing plant. The vegetable packing plant is pretty close to our existing base. But we're going to start working on the higher tier crops. So we need to be... Oh, that bloke just snuck out of the corner. Scared the crap out of me when I was playing. We're going to start working on the higher tier crops because we're not too far away from starting to get the spud gun, which I really, really want and need. But we're not too far from getting the fruit. Once we do this trip to the packing station, we can buy the seeds that we need, which is the blueberries. And I think the oranges, or the bananas, I think it's bananas. Excuse me. So we're not too far away from that, but we also need to find some of the trapped farmers, and they're around this area as well, because there's a big autumnal forest here. Two. There we go, garment boxes, decent. Yeah, apart from the garment boxes, I think we get another one somewhere around here. Apart from that, the loot here was very underwhelming, considering that I paid the ultimate price by dying on the way up here. Up you go, mate. There's some cotton right there. And not much of anything up here. But yeah, there's some crazy hills in this area. It's a nice lake there. I'm contemplating actually building on that lake rather than the big shoreline. I don't know. I did see a few episodes ago when I was out here exploring, testing the car. Ooh, gold chest. There's actually a boss bot spawning area around here, so I'm not too sure about that. There we go, garment box, component kit, and tomato seeds, which is just rubbish. But now that you can actually use those excess seeds to turn them into fertilizer, I'm not too worried about getting a lot of seeds now. It's actually really handy to build up a stockpile of those seed packets. Now here's where we clear underneath to get that chest that we saw when we peeked off the edge of the building earlier. And this ground under here, I get getting hooked up all over the place. It was really strange. Little pockets of quicksand around here. Yeah, that's nice. Components. Running short on components. I need to do a lot of upgrading, especially with the extra wheels that we're adding onto the vehicle. We have to upgrade those suspension so it can actually handle the load that we're going to put on the back of the car. So we definitely need component kits in a big way. I think there's another helibot somewhere around here, if I remember correctly. There we go. G'day, mate. How's the family? Beautiful. Very nice. Another leak for our trouble. Here's where we do a little bit of a trip out that way. I wanted to show the autumnal forest that I found and the burnt forest that I found. So we take a little tiny road trip here through those areas. We also stopped to do a tiny bit of looting. I think coming up is where I remember that petrol is a thing, and I probably should check how much I've got left in my engine. No, not yet. Okay. We're going to run the engine dry, apparently. It's actually not a bad area here. It's not a bad area at all. I wouldn't mind building a base here. Grab the beeswax. We need to make wheels. Grab the beeswax, please. Ooh, chest. I thought I stopped for the beeswax. I hope I get that beeswax. I need it. Yeah, so I've been doing a little bit of work off camera, not a tremendous amount of stuff. I've just gotten ready because I was really low on materials. So I've been gathering materials so we can build out the vehicle to make it more useful. This is very good for a basic vehicle that we just threw together quickly so we could start traveling. But in terms of carrying loads and being effective in carrying packing crates and getting up the pretty severe hillsides, we have to get it up. It's not great. Don't hit the corn, please. It'll stop you dead. Ooh, almost. So here's the autumnal area that I was speaking about. There's actually a couple of autumnal forests around here. And then they're separated by a big burnt forest, which is fantastic. More beeswax. Please get the beeswax. Please. No, I think that hay bot scared me off. Yep. Sorry, I'm just watching this thinking about how much I need the materials that I'm driving past at the moment. There's the burnt biome. You can catch a glimpse of it off to the left very briefly. I think here's where I quickly run under this building to grab the chests and then I GTFO back to the car. There's the burnt biome right there. Don't worry, we get a better look at it. I'm just more concerned with loot at the moment. I always check these little gullies between the rocks. More often than not, you'll find some treasure chests tucked around them. There we go, there's one right there. Decent. Okay, what do we got? I can see a chest over by that tree. I think that's what I'm heading towards. It looks like it. I'm giving that ruin a very wide berth. I do work my way back through the bottom of it though. Beautiful. Get out of the way, mate. There we go. I contemplated going up this ruin, but I think the loot that I get out of this chest was pretty underwhelming, so I thought, bugger it, it's not even worth it. I'm going to keep exploring. Oh, it's 2 chests. Okay. These videos are just turning into haybots swiping at me throughout the whole video. I'm starting to lose count of how many bloody haybots attack me lately. Chemicals, garbage, and what do we got here? Carrot seeds and oh my god, yep, that's why I didn't do this room. I got pissed off at the loot. There's the burnt biome. That's a huge source of embers for us, which is fantastic because we're going to start upgrading our metal once we get more into the mining, which is something we have to do very soon as well. Beeswax, beautiful. We're going to need a lot of embers to upgrade the metal through the tiers. So when you mine directly from the stone deposits, you get level 1 metal, which is great. So it saves you having to use 15 of the scrap metal to get 10 level 1 metal. Here's just another little tiny ruin that was just over that rock there where I fought the tote bot. Yeah, so we need tier 3 metal to build a wall, at least one wall out the front of our base to defend against raids, and tier 3 metal is the one that they have the biggest amount of trouble getting through to get to us. So we're going to need a lot of embers. Water isn't an issue, we can just get water directly from our pump. That's never going to be a concern. But embers we definitely need. We're going to need a ton of those. That's decent, that's very decent loot. I had better loot than the other ruin. And I think there's one more chest on the upper level here. Yeah, there was. So it's a really good area. There's a lot of interesting little ruins. There's a lot of useful materials. You'll see there's actually 2 chemical ponds that we can get chemical from. I really wanted to gather some as I went past in this video, but I realised I didn't have a spare chest to store them in. I've got the vacuum pump on my vehicle because I'm planning to take it to the trader, but I didn't have the room to take the loot out. So I've got to make a spare chest. Component kit. I'll never complain about getting a component kit. I need a spare chest both for the packing plant because you have to load the fruit into a chest and have the vacuum pump shoot from the chest to the receptacle at the packing plant, and we need it for gathering chemicals. There is a chemical tank now, chemical container, but I think you can still pump from a chemical source into a chest, and the chests hold far more than the actual chemical container. The chemical container is like the fuel container in that it has 5 slots. And the water container, they have 5 slots where you can put stacks of, I think it's 20. So you can store 100, or you have a chest which has 3 rows. I think it's 3 rows of 10 slots. So that's my flashy little dismount there, which happens every time I don't slow down to a stop when I exit my vehicle. Chemicals and soil bag was not worth breaking my neck for. So here we're just looping around the edge of the autumnal forest. Yeah, that's why I couldn't use that chest. It's just so overloaded with loot from this trip. So we're kind of doing the flank of the forest here. I was just looking for evidence of farmer campsites. I know there's one in there somewhere. I'm not exactly sure. I did catch a glimpse of a tent when I did the first test drive around this area, but I don't think I came this far out. But I know there is one in there somewhere. Here I'm being very careful to avoid tree stumps and corn because both will just stop your car. Absolutely dead. I actually got hooked up on that corn. Here's the chemical pond. I cut out where I got hooked up on that corn because I was trying to do an Austin Powers, 200-point turn to get turned around, and I just kept getting more stuck, so I had to use the lift. There's one of the chemical ponds. There's actually another one not too far from here. But that's where we can get a very steady supply of chemicals, which we can use to turn stone into concrete. And I think we're going to be using a lot of concrete when we build. So we're definitely going to be needing some chemicals. So that's great that there's actually 2 sources of chemicals not too far from each other and not too far from where we're looking to build our base. That is amazing. And there's so much ember. There's ruins all over the place. There's a chest there. Do I stop for that? Please tell me I do. Good job. I'm getting really tired when I edit these things of watching me go past these really obvious treasure chests that I just don't see when I'm playing. It's really annoying. Especially because I watched myself drive past a gold chest when I was doing my first test drive. That really pissed me off. Because usually you have to fight your way past bloody, 15 hay bots to catch sight of a gold chest, and there was one just randomly in the middle of the countryside that I could have just driven up to. Yeah, so I think we've gone through this before, but when you break those burnt trees, they break up into embers. So having such a huge source of embers there is amazing. There's a big warehouse over there. There's so much interesting stuff in this area. We're definitely going to do some more exploring in this area in the future. It's such an interesting place. It really, really is. There's the other chemical pond, which is it's literally right around the corner from the other one. It's just on the other edge of the forest here. And now we're just slowly circling our way around this. There's the cotton. There's just cotton everywhere here. We're slowly circling our way around this autumnal forest, just working our way back towards home. Or the road home. Home is quite far away from here. I'm not entirely sure if this is a different wheat field or I just got turned around and drove through the same one twice. The jury's still out on that one. I think it's different, but it would not surprise me in the slightest to find out that I just went in a big circle. It's a nice ruin. I really wanted to stop there, but I needed to get home. I wanted to get home and start gathering material to build. It's really weird that I've had to come back to this episode to put the commentary on, because this was so long ago. I recorded this. I think I've gone through this in a couple of my other videos. I've been really sick for the last week or so. So all of this stuff is from before then. So I'm at the moment trying to remember what I was doing in this play session that was so long ago. And I'm still feeling a little average, so it's probably good that I can just come in and do this kind of sedate commentary, because I don't think I'm up for a play session with trying to provide live commentary. Please stop, please stop. Here's where I definitely drove in a circle, because that's one of the chemical ponds that I found. Ooh, components. Beautiful. Here's where I remember to check my petrol. This is actually the second time. I think I cut the other time out, so we almost drained the engine of petrol twice moving around here. Here's where I almost had my vehicle destroyed because I wasn't paying attention. And here's where the forest gives ground. There we go, just smashed into some corn. Here's where the forest gives ground to the back of the fruit packing station. Don't worry, I do come back for those chests. Here we go. I actually can't remember if they were worth it. They must have had anything amazing, so I don't remember the loot from these ones. Component kit, yeah, decent. It's another little nice ruin right there. Here we go, number 2. God, that's, yeah, not great. So we're getting towards the end here. We just head back home. Next episode, I've gotten the car to the point where I'm ready to start hooking up the second axle and work on the truck bed. So that'll all be in the next episode, which will probably be, excuse me, after this weekend. I'm just giving myself time to shake off this cold or whatever it is I've got at the moment. But yeah, I just don't have a lot of energy right now. Plus my voice is trash, as you can probably hear. But so hopefully soon. I've done as much off camera as I can do, so I need to get back in and do a recording session, which hopefully will be up on Monday, Tuesday at the latest. I'm really itching to get back into the game. But here we're just heading home. Here I was just counting how many components I picked up. And here's where I decided to upgrade my engine to level 4 because I was burning through the fuel. The engine has since been upgraded to level 5, so it's fully upgraded now. And it sounds amazing. You will check that out in the next video. Here we are, almost home. So I might as well cut off here. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please leave a like. There will be more coming soon. If you'd like to help me grow the channel, consider subscribing. If you have any comments about this playthrough or other playthroughs that you'd like to see, let me know. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, guys. Bye.